thank everyone for coming today. We're glad to see so many people here for this special award today. We do have 28 Rotarians in attendance today, and I believe we have 2 visiting Rotarians, and we have some special guests that I would like to announce as well. We have our Chief of Police, Patrick Mitchell, if you would stand. We have Judge Paul Murphy. And we have a variety of older persons here today. If you don't mind, I may have you stand and introduce yourselves, please.
Dan Roth.
Rosalie Reinke from the 5th District.
Kathy Phelps from the 2nd District.
Tom Lysick, 4th District.
Do we get everybody?
Nope.
Vince Vitale from the 1st Aldermanic District.
All right, thank you. We also have a special guest, our District Governor for Rotary, Karen White is here.
Sure. We have a drawing every week for a free gift that we give away, so I'm going to have someone draw a ticket and we'll announce who the winner is. And I think one of our special guests here is going to be drawing a ticket. All right. So ending in 328. Doesn't sound right. Diane won. 328? Nice. All right.
Thanks, Brenda. We have, believe it or not, a quick announcement. Jerry.
All right. Well, first off, for my former Rotarians, I'll give you a break. Next week I won't be here. You know, I just want to acknowledge my kids that I pick up every week from Central. Most of you are aware of what's going on right now there. And there's usually 4 of them that are waiting for me to take them down to the homeless vets breakfast. And actually, with the school being closed today, they were not available. But one of the young men, Dan, took it upon himself to bike over there to St. John's this morning and help out. So, and he's the main dishwasher dryer there. So, and then I got to acknowledge our good friend Ben, because he decided on his own. He didn't want Central High School represented here today. So, Ben, thank you again for that. And then I have to thank my good friend Sue, who picked up the other 2 students. I did have a funeral today. Some of you maybe knew him, Bob Donegan. He was a long-time West Allis resident, and Bob was a member of my Knights of Columbus here, so that's why I was just a tad late. So that's my announcement. And I'm going to give my bucks on not say anything at Happy Bucks.
It'll be another week. Unless we have time. I do have a new member reading, first reading, for Jason Soloninka, Landmark. And he's married to Sarah, and business address 1441 South 68th Street. We'll have a second reading next week, and then the board will consider his membership. Very happy to have him be interested. To introduce our speaker for the day, you almost could have stayed up here, Brenda Berchdorf.
I am so excited to have this special day to recognize a local business for their ethical standards and their contributions to the community. As a Rotary member, we live by the 4-way test every day. So this is really a privilege to recognize a local business that we're going to see for their ethical standards as well. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Lee Breeze. She is going to give us a quick lesson on the 4-way test, the history of the 4-way test from 1946.
Okay, I'm dressed like this because it's easier
to give a speech when you don't look like yourself. I'm not looking like myself. Hello, I'm Lee Breeze, the West Allis Gazette Press. In case you didn't recognize me, I'm here today because I just luckily snagged this wonderful interview with a man who probably has changed my life. You can't say that all the time. One might say, what is the importance of this guy in 1946? Well, I can tell you that he did not invent the new microwaves that were out. They're never going to be a success. He's not a person who invented the car phones. How are they going to do 4 party lines with a car phone? I just can't picture it. He probably had nothing to do with motor scooters. He's not Jackie Robinson, who debuted in 1946. And, you know, he didn't start the first computer either, which came out in 1946. What this man did was so remarkable that he deserves our full and total attention. The man's name is Herbert J. Taylor, and one may not really recognize that name because it's not one that just comes to mind usually. In 1932, Herbert J. Taylor was a very successful businessman in terms of likability and money and all the signs of success. He was asked to help out a company called Club Aluminum. I've never heard of them, but I kind of feel like I might understand where Club Aluminum was. Remember, 1932 was the midst of the Depression. They were in trouble. They owed $500,000. They had 250 employees that they were going to have to lay off if the business was not successful. So Herbert Taylor gave up his very successful businesses and took over Club Aluminum with one agreement. He had very strong feelings that a successful business had to be an ethical business. And to do that, he said that the company had to practice honesty with its buyers, with its employees, and with its creditors. This was not an easy sell in 1932 when there was a huge amount of poverty. He said if you didn't have the ethical guidelines, that your company was going to be missing dependability and character, and that you couldn't be successful without those things. He wanted ethical guidelines for businesses. He found himself sitting there as the head of Club Aluminum with a lot of possible answers, this whole huge array of answers. But he said, before you can really come up with answers, you have to know what the questions are. And he was having trouble coming up with the questions. So these are his thoughts. He put his head down on his desk one afternoon, and when he let go of everything, he said he left it up to God. Whoever his God was answered him. Because when he sat up, he came up with 24 words. 24 words for the things we think, say, or do. He said, is it the truth? Will it be fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Those 24 words were the solutions to the problems of Club Aluminum. But they were also the solution for people in the world who wanted to live ethical, honorable lives. He began to institute this test to not just his business, but everywhere. And he was pretty much known as a very quiet, calm man. But when you got him talking about the four-way test, no one could walk away. He just had such a passion for this. Needless to say, the Club Aluminum Company became successful. They not only paid off their debts, but they made money. They expanded to have more employees. And in the year 1946, the four-way test was so well known that Rotary International took up the four-way test as a guidepost for all Rotarians to live their lives. Not just your businesses, but to live your life. For me, I asked in my mind, Herbert J. Taylor, what would this look like in a real business? You know, is it the truth? What does that look like when a business practices it? Well, let's take Rapina's, a small grocery store started in 1927 in West Allis, Wisconsin. Been there for a long time, family owned and operated. Is it the truth? Is their advertising true? Can you know that when you go in there, you're going to get a product that is advertised, not just something simple, not a cut of meat that's undervalued, but instead it's going to be exactly what they're advertising because they live. They have their business that they run by ethical standards. Although pricing should be competitive, according to Mr. Taylor, you still can't undercut competitors. There has to be a sense of friendship with the whole world. So if I were to go into Rapina's, which I have done, perhaps if they didn't have the product that I wanted, if I were a gourmet cook or something of that sort, of course, you know I'm not, Rapina's might say, well, we don't carry that product today, but I know that if you go down to Fifth and Lincoln, there's a little store that you could pick up what you need. That is being fair to all concerned. That is building goodwill and better friendships. Rapina's understands, because they do have ethical guidelines, how confidence and friendship become keystones of a business that works from an ethical set of rules. It's clear that they believe that even the associates who work for you deserve this friendship and honesty. There are some intangible dividends of following the four-way test, just by the way. And you can find it, if you live in West Allis, you can see Rapina's practicing those intangibles because you'll find them at possibly the West Allis Police Reserve Thanksgiving food drive, or any one of a number of West Allis bowl-a-thons. I've never bowled, but there's a reason for that. The CAD Community Halloween event, I know that they help support this event. And they're around visible people too. National Night Out. Rapina's kind of goes hand in hand with National Night Out. And of course, they are the sponsors of the community dinner dance. For me, when you enter the store, you're greeted by smiles, welcoming feelings. I know I can just picture Pat walking into Rapina's because she nominated Rapina's. And I know that if she smiles at someone, she gets a smile back. Maybe she gets one first from them because they practice our four-way test without even knowing it. It's an instinct for them. When Mr. Herbert J. Taylor implemented the four-way test as a business practice, and Rotary International adopted it as a standard for measuring ethical behavior, I think they must have been hoping that a business like Peanuts would use those 24 words as ethical guidelines for all the things that they think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Lee. That was wonderful. She did a great job. Stole my thunder a little bit on some of the great things I was going to say about our winners. So I'm going to kind of reiterate a few things. Before I do that, though, I do want to recognize a few people that helped Lee and myself on this committee and were a big, huge part of it. So I would like to recognize Mark Ellington, who did the signs and our plaques for the award. And Wayne, where are you, Wayne? There you are, as a member of our committee, and Mike Jones. Mike I saw as well, right? Mike is right next to him. All right, thank you very much. So we were very excited to get a number of nominations for this award. And that means that we have a lot of businesses in this area that are such ethical, good business, and that makes me feel really good to be a part of this community. So I'm very happy about that. And I would like to take this time right now to, as a member of the Rotary Club of West Allis, present the four-way test award to Rapinas and bring John and Priscilla up here to accept the award. Why don't we have you come over and we'll stand by probably this for a picture. Are you okay with that, John? All right. You want me in this or not? All right. Yes. Lee, you should be up here as well. And actually, members of our committee should be here. We'll take a few. How about that?
Certainly. Want to stand on the table, please?
You're behind the sign here, John.
That's okay.
Oh, this way, this way. How about this way? Come on over here.
We'll break the
Here you go.
lens. Pretty good.
All right. Are we done? Yes, please. John, would you mind saying a few words?
I would, yes.
You would like to say a few words?
Yes,
Wonderful,
I would.
wonderful.
I'd like to thank everyone that nominated us, and we try our best, and as I know all of you in this room do, and the four-way test, every one of us should live by that every day, and things will be better. That's all we have to do is instill in some of these kids in school, into their mind, the four-way test. And maybe things wouldn't be going on like they are today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John and Priscilla. Thank you, all the visiting aldermen and judge. Thank you to our cub reporter, Dr. Lee Breeze. We do have a little time before we finish with the four-way test, actually, for some of our happy bucks. So, Brenda, would you mind, since I haven't
I would be happy to.
delegated anyone?
Anywhere I can start? This table over here looks like they're getting their wallets out.
It's a weekly thing we do.
I'll get us started with 2 happy bucks. One for the presentation today, a very deserving business and a very great representative of our city and our community. And the other is for our special guests who came to honor that business.
I have a happy dollar for all the work Brenda did. She did 95% of it, the rest of the committee did 5%.
Wayne?
For our 4-way test winner.
My first dollar is in honor of Rufina's and congratulations on the 4-way test award. My second is for all of the guests that we have here today. And my last one and most special one is since my last time here, I am now a new grandmother.
Happy bucks for
One for welcoming me to the city, thank you very much, and one for Rufina's.
Thank you. I want to thank you for inviting me, John. It's always a pleasure. You can tell the clubs I like going to because I keep showing up. But I also want to just make mention that today is my mother's 90th birthday.
Oh, wow.
She is still living in her home. She has just given up driving, not because she doesn't like to drive, but because she's afraid she's going to fall. She's she was a retired nurse. She was director of surgery for a hospital in Connecticut for about 40 years. And she fell a few years ago, broke a hip, and she's not going there again. So she's doing great. We tried to get her home health care. I don't need that. I'm fine. So she's doing great for 90, and we should all be so lucky. Wonderful.
For Rufina's.
And we just have our business, we have some of the best opportunities coming up here in a couple of weeks for our real estate business that we've had probably in the last 5 years I've been involved, so we're pretty excited about that.
Thank you from our new member. Thank you.
I'm looking at a house in West Bend this weekend.
West Allis.
West Allis.
Jerry?
Well, my congratulations also to Rapina's, and State Fair would not be the same without their delicious.
Well, I have a happy buck again to honor Rufina's, and then the second one is because we didn't have announcements. Don't forget Cocktails for a Cause, April 30th, right here in this location. $40 for anybody who wants to buy tickets. It includes cocktail tasting, appetizers, a silent auction, and it's a lot of fun.
And music.
And music.
My happy dollars is, of course, for the Rapinas, but also I'm heading up today to hopefully collect, this is going to probably be our last weekend because it's getting so warm and not going down to freezing. We've already made 7 quarts and we have enough to do a couple more gallons. So hopefully...
Police in the audience. Since maple syrup is set.
$1 is for Rapina's, and the other is because tomorrow morning at 4:30, Dave and I are leaving for Florida. For Rapina's.
One for Rapina's and one for a person that was on television, Channel 12 last night, that did not mention West Allis Rotary Club. And I think she should offer a prize.
I wasn't on last night. No, Teresa was on.
I edited it out.
Nice save, nice save.
That's good thinking on your feet.
That's all right, in honor of Rufina. Thank you. Anything over this one?
If not the best.
Yeah, $1 is for just Rufina, I know, the service that he done for the years, and $1 is for the biggest thing that Rotary Club has been done throughout the country, throughout the community.
Thank you. anyone over here? Yep, I know.
I have 5 happy bunches just for the whole event.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. Therese?
I have 3 happy bucks, one for Rapinas, one for Lee, who did an awesome job, and then the other one to thank everyone who brought items for the veterans last week at Pets. There were 7 districts there, and they actually had filled a semi-truck full of stuff for the vets and had to get another truck. So really,
What about your fine? No fine.
We assess
Thank you. All right, gratefulness.
for Rapinas and the student volunteers that Jerry Falk had spoke about.
Very nice. Did I miss anybody? Oh,
And
Jonathan?
just, again, thanks to Rapinas and all that they've done for, really for our city in the many years they've been around.
Wonderful. Thank you, John. Oh,
For Rapinas and for the committee that put the event on.
thank you very much.
This is for the entire committee and a Rotary Club.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think I didn't even count it all up, but there's a lot of money. We appreciate that.
And this goes for things in our community, a variety of charitable or educational activities. For example, to which our foundation since '89 has put $600,000 into local charitable and educational activities. We'd like to end with our 4-way test, and actually, if we could have the committee come up and lead us, is that too much?
No, I think that's perfect.
Including cover reporter and Dr. Lee Breeze.
Come on, Eric.
By the band.
Lee,
That band.
4-way touchdown.
Go around the world.
There we go.
Don't let me forget the money that's fair enough.
Oh, I'm
right?
sure.
Yes. You ready? The 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you very much. Thank you to our guests, all of listening folks from Rotary, from our politicians. Thank you so much for taking the time to come, and Rotary adjourned.